Joining us this morning, Tammy Hagstrom. How you doing, Tam?
I'm doing well. How are you, Pat?
I think winter's almost over.
That's my hopes.
Yeah.
Wanted to have Tammy on this morning because tomorrow there is a CLYO sign up. And tell us about it, Tammy.
We are having sign-ups tomorrow, as Pat said, at Lakeshore Primary. They are from 10 to 1. We ask that if you're going to sign up that you bring their birth certificate and a proof of residency. That is just so we can get everything out of the way early. And I'm sure you're aware of what had happened in Chicago with the Little League team that falsified their residency so they could play, and they ended up going on to win Nationals, Little League, and then went and played in the World Series. Yeah.
And they get this
and then they were stripped of the title because the coaches falsified the records, and so they're pushing down on us to make sure that everything is up and up.
And you can understand that.
Oh, absolutely. It's just kind of disheartening that the adults would do that to the kids, knowing that they're wrong, and this is something that could happen.
Well, that's where the problem lied, with the adults.
Right, and the poor kids, played their hearts out and did their best and won, and now it was title was stripped from them.
Yeah, and they get penalized for the adults' behavior. That's too bad. But yeah,
so
that won't happen at CLYO.
Yeah,
so
not here.
You have to have the birth certificate.
Yes, birth certificate. So we know exactly what age group that they go in, because T-ball and coach pitch, it's depending a lot on their ability and then how the parents feel if they're ready to move on or not. In the minor league, it's 9 and 10 years old. You have to be 9 by January 1st of this current year.
Okay.
And it's based on that. For girls and boys is May 5th, and now they're starting to, or May 1st, and they're starting to align it so everybody is January 1st, and it just makes it a lot easier.
Now, but you have it for younger kids too, right?
Oh yeah, we have T-ball and coach pitch starting at 5.
At 5 years old. Wow, they didn't have that when I was playing.
No, I remember playing coach pitch, and John Arcaro was my coach.
John?
Big John.
Oh, the chief?
Chief, yeah.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was going to say John would be more your age.
John's my age.
Okay, so do those kids sign up too?
Yes, we don't start T-ball and coach pitch usually until mid-May or right after Memorial Day, because of the high school kids being down there and all the traffic from them, and being newly licensed, a lot of them don't quite go as slow as we would like them to, and just to make sure that the safety factor is there. Plus the one field butts up to in between the outfield of the boys and the outfield of the girls, and it's congestion. So we usually start after Memorial Day. I'm going to try to get it started maybe 2 weeks earlier this year, just because we're trying to institute a new program where fundamentals are stressed more than the games. We're seeing a big problem coming from coach pitch to minor league, that the kids don't all catch very well or throw properly, let alone knowing what to do in what situation. I mean, that comes with time, but so I've been working on a program that is cut down practice by practice. The first practice we're going to work on catching without a glove, and make sure that their fingers are up, thumb is down, and not the basket catch right from the get-go. So a lot of the problem is that we have a lot of kids that start to play. We have 10, 12 teams sometimes, with 10 to 12 kids on a team at T-ball, and then we get up to minors and majors, and the numbers dwindle so that they're like cut in half, and we're like, what is happening? I mean, obviously they find that they're really not interested, or they have other things going on. Obviously electronics is a big thing, and you don't see a lot of kids outside playing anymore. And a lot of it is because they weren't taught properly to begin with, so there's the fear of, I'm going to get hurt. So we're working on eliminating that. So
let me ask you this, Tammy. So to make this clear, those little 5-year-old kids, they don't have to go tomorrow, or they can?
They need to.
They need to.
Yeah, just we ask that everybody sign up as quickly as possible. That way, we know how many kids we have
Right.
to know how many coaches we need. And getting coaches is the big thing, especially at the younger age. Like I was saying, one of the problems is, my son wants to play, but we don't have enough coaches. So I know a little bit about the game. So okay, I'll help. You end up getting a team because you said you'd help,
Yeah.
but you don't know enough to be able to teach them properly.
Well, you would.
Well, I do, yeah. But, just a general person might say, I'd like to do something so they can play and not have, 16 kids on a team, because that's, ridiculous at that age. So one, for the coach to try to corral all of them
Right.
and to get any kind of learning done. So we're hoping that the parents sign up to coach. We'll have these programs in place that even if
So
you don't know
you-
anything,
You do need coaches.
we need coaches.
What about,
Always
how
need
about, what about umpires?
umpires. Yes, we need umpires. Paula Giz is going to be our umpire in chief again this year. Very good friend of mine, and she's fantastic. And yeah, she's always looking for volunteers. She takes high school kids if they're interested. Pairs them with an older umpire, lets them get a couple of games under their belt, and then.
Do they get paid?
Yes, oh yes, they get paid.
Okay.
That's the only paid position we have at CLY, or the umpires. Everybody else is volunteer.
And Tammy, there's another way to sign up too, and that's online.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
Actually, what you're going to be doing when you come into Lakeshore is that we're using the computer room, thanks to the Conneaut school system and their principal, Jimmy Kennedy. Sorry, Jim. And I can't, And we have it set up so you go right online, put all your information in, and it is a little bit of a process at first, but once you're in the system, the following years, all you have to do is sign up and you're done. We'll have copies of the birth certificates. It will stay in
You
our
just
system.
go to CLYO.
You go to info@clyo.org
Okay.
at any time, and you can do everything at home if you want. Then there's an opportunity that you can either download the forms to print and fill out, then you can send it to us by mail, or you can then upload it if you're computer savvy enough.
See, I'm not, so I'd rather just go to the school and sign up.
And that's why we're doing this. So
will pick this
eventually we'll get away
You
from
would make a
having the
team.
physical sign up, and we'll just ask everyone do it online, because in years past I keep packs of sign-ups in my car, and somebody stops me on, here you go, and either fill it out or they send it back in. But we want to make sure that everybody that wants to play has the opportunity. It is $65. We did raise the price this year. It's the first time we've raised prices
From what?
from 55.
Okay.
So it's not a major
Right.
jump. It is a lot for some people, and we understand. So we do make concessions if we need to try to work something out. We have a family plan, so it's 65 for the first, and then 55 for those after. We have payment plans, and like I said, nobody has ever been turned away for not being able to pay, and we're not going to start this year.
Now, this is going to be at Lakeshore Primary.
Primary.
Tomorrow from
10 to 1.
10 to 1.
Yes.
Is this a one-day only thing, or are you going to do this
Again.
No,
again,
this was our second time that we've done it.
Oh,
We
this is
did
the second time.
Yeah,
I'm
we
sorry.
did it on the 7th.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Will you have another
We
one?
did it
Tammy?
last month.
Okay.
Traditionally, we have 2 signups, so
That's it?
probably not. Yeah, because we're looking to, our signups are the 14th. Then the next weekend, the 21st, we'll get together and see who it is that wants to coach. We'll have a meeting to approve the coaches, and then do a draft the 24th so they can start getting their teams going, because usually at the end of May, first part of June is they actually start games. So weather depending, right.
Yeah.
To-
Well,
to-
I want to talk to you about that field too. I need to take a break, but before I do that, something I remember, and I loved playing in Little League, and back then they called it Farm League, before you got into Little League and Pony League and that. But One of the things that I can remember always was a treat back in those days, and I don't even know if they do it anymore. The coaches would always before the game give you gum. You remember that? You didn't
I remember
play.
because we used to stop at King's Corners before coming down the hill.
That's the only reason he's signed
I
up.
probably that's why I like
Free
playing.
gum.
You got a free.
You
bubble
wonder
gum.
why you were never any good. You just signed up because of the gum.
It has progressed quite a bit. I know with the teams that I've coached, depending on if it's a game or a practice, I'll bring a chest full of ice waters and wash rags that are cold so they can.
Really?
Oh yeah.
and
Keep
they're-
them hydrated because it gets real hot.
See, they didn't have it.
Keep them hydrated, and the
Yes.
sunflower seeds are a huge
Oh, the
thing
sunflower
now.
seeds.
Yeah, boys and
Yeah.
girls.
They pretend they're
Yeah.
bears,
They're all
Yeah, you
in
got the
there.
salt in it and stuff. Yeah.
So that's great for dehydration. Is all that salt on
Yeah,
there.
right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh man, those take me back to some wonderful days. That was
Great memories,
I
yeah.
said this before.
Great memories.
I put the uniform on at 1 in the afternoon, and the game wasn't until like 6.
Right,
So I
right.
walk around.
And a
just
lot of
to
kids
show
slept
off.
in it and
Like
slept
a-
in them too.
Yeah,
Slept in the uniform.
it was the good old days. Tammy, one of the I can't let you go without asking you this. We had terrible problems at CLIO Fields last year. This year was even worse than last year. Are you guys prepared to go into this thing?
We're prepared in the fact that we've moved all the equipment from the lower region. The tractors and mowers and all that stuff are put up. Anything that is left down there is up on shelves or hanging from the walls that hopefully if we do have water that they won't be damaged. It's just one of those things that you have to wait and see. And the other thing is that it was over a year ago that it flooded. So we still have a good amount of snow on the ground
Right.
this year.
So it flooded earlier last year. No
Yes.
kidding.
Yes. So now the problem we're looking at that's going to be worse at if it does flood, we're 3 weeks behind what it did last year. So it means we're the crunch time is.
I know that the season actually was in jeopardy at one point, and that was like you say earlier, I guess, than now. What about how does the creek look down there?
What I can see of it from the bridge, the water is rising. I don't see a lot of ice jams yet. And the problem is, up creek, if the debris that's in the creek or the ice starts to jam up, then that's where, you get that trickle down effect, I guess, where everything behind it then rises or causes the problems. The creek is up. It's not really close to our bank that we've made over the years.
Is it flooding or is it the ice flows that cause the problems?
It's
Or both?
the water itself isn't generally the problem unless we have nowhere for it to go. If the water recedes past our dam point, then we can get it over with pumps or whatever we need
Right.
to. The problem usually gets the damage is from the ice and then the debris that comes with the limbs and
The limbs and branches and those.
right, and that's what takes the fences down, and and then that's what does the damage to the concrete, and we've got new sheds in the last couple of years that we use for individual fields to keep their equipment in for field maintenance and lime and the liners and things like that. So we've moved all that stuff, so hopefully we don't have that damage, but we won't know until it happens.
I also had heard that there's been a considerable amount of vandalism and stuff. Maybe not vandalism, but graffiti and stuff down there.
Yeah, it's
What's with these people that are doing this stuff?
I wish I knew. You can see on the red barn that we have at the top that somebody spray painted whatever on it, and luckily it's not anything graphic as far as, bad words or things like that. It's, that's been tagged or whatever. And then they spray painted on the concession stand, the barn down in the complex on the side of the field that you can't see. So, as far as an eyesore for the public going past, that didn't do damage that way, but it's just one more thing that we have to take care of when we get things started.
Yeah, it's amazing. But I don't know why, but years ago, many years ago, maybe 20 years ago, your dad gave me a key to the gate, and I don't know why he gave that to me. If I have no, maybe he wanted me to cover something and nobody could be down there or something. I'm sure that key isn't workable anymore, but
I don't know. We keep we keep things as long as possible down at CLIO just to keep the cost down. I mean, the equipment that we have, some of it is 15, 20 years old. That one tractor that we
is that
keep
right?
around. Oh yeah, and it's because people like my dad and Bill Taylor do such a fantastic job of keeping the maintenance up, and we try not to let just anybody get on the equipment, not because we don't want you to help. We want anybody that wants to help, but we ask that you come down, learn how to use it properly, and that if something happens, to let somebody know. Don't just put it away and cover it up and go until somebody comes to use it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I go back so far that I remember when those fields in the back weren't even there. We used to ride back in there and drink beer years and years ago. I mean, we're talking
years old.
40
Yeah, right.
But that was a long time ago. But that has developed so nice. That is one of the nicest complexes, I think, around.
We do
football.
get a lot of compliments from people that come in either for tournaments or that haven't been there before, because the American Legion uses the fields, and we have a men's team that have used it before, and they just usually say how nice the fields are, and what a nice complex it is. As a board member, we look around and see things that, oh gosh, I wish that wasn't there. I wish you could do something about it, but the major part of it is a nice complex, and it's just the little things that we need help. Put your garbage in the garbage can.
Right.
If you see the garbage can is full, go to a different garbage can, or bring it to someone's attention that hey, you might want to do this. And that's where the volunteer aspect that we really need, for mending fences, for mowing, for weed eating. Bill Taylor, who was just a phenomenal guy, and his family just passed his boards.
What are you gonna do? Because he might.
Yeah,
be,
he's
He's going to have to get a
right?
job working third shift so he can be at the field all day long.
Is that? Yeah, that's would be ideal. But he did tell me last week or whenever he was on that Pat, if I get this job, I'm gonna have to kind of back away. And he goes, I don't want to have to do that, but it's a necessity.
Sure.
Do you have people in the wings on bench here? So to speak?
No one has stepped up as yet, but we're hopeful that the board members that we have and the parents that I've talked to that said, I'll come down and help, that they'll actually do what they're
I would imagine the mowing would be a major problem.
It is. It is something that once you have it done, and depending on the weather, you need to mow at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. It's just depending on how the grass decides that it wants to behave. And
now I think didn't Harry do the chalk and all that stuff for the lines and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, that's one thing that Dad loved to do. He the
He
pride
used to
that
do
he
it for
took.
slow pitch when we played. He did it. He make sure it was all right, and done right.
Yeah. One of the things that the high school uses our fields, the girls and boys teams, and sometimes they use 2 fields, sometimes they use 4 fields, just depending on JV varsity. They have games on the same day. And that's one thing that Dad used to do, make sure that it was all manicured, and he would set the boxes up and chalk the lines and that, just because that's the kind of guy that he was, when he did something, he did it 100%. And
Right.
It was,
Yeah.
But I mean, now I don't know. Was Bill doing that too?
Bill was able to do it on some things. We're over the last couple of years, we tried to say, we got a little bit spoiled with my dad doing
Right.
everything.
That's
So
for sure.
you really need to step up and make sure that. And there's nothing wrong with the kids knowing how to put the line down and
Right.
to make sure that the
I think-
bases are in. And
I think in my day, Tammy, I think the coach did it.
I remember
Yeah.
doing it when I was.
Yeah. Because
still-
that has saved
Right.
them labor.
Well, they still do to
Oh,
an
yeah.
extent.
Oh,
don't
yeah.
they? The coaches go down there and the kids help out.
Yeah,
They
with
really
the
need that.
actual CLYO,
Sure.
yeah, it's each coach's responsibility to make sure that the field
Right.
is lined and chalked, and then when they're done, they're supposed to rake it if there's any holes. Usually, they get the holes at the pitcher's mound for the girls from where they're pushing off, and then the batter's boxes
Yeah.
always have
It's like a
where
team
they gotta
effort.
dig out. Yes, and
It's like a team effort.
and it helps the kids to learn some pride
It's
in themselves and then the community, and this is
Exactly.
my home and this is where I play, and
Yeah.
I want it
I
to look
be
think
used
I
as
nice.
a
could
teaching
see
tool.
Tammy
Yeah.
on that tractor
Pardon me?
mowing lawns.
Oh yeah, I like doing that. I have to put my
I've seen her
headphones
on
on and
Yeah.
get on the tractor.
You gotta have the head.
If there's not a church family member on one of those tractors, there's something wrong. Something is not. Yeah.
Well, Tammy, before I let you go, give us an update again for the CLIO sign up.
Okay, sign-ups are tomorrow. The physical sign-up at Lakeshore Primary, and they're from 10 to 1. And we do cash, check, or you can charge on your credit card. So we have that ability. That's the first time that we have it open to everybody. If you're not able to make the sign-up, you can go to info@clyo.org, and it'll take you to a website that you can sign up on. We're on Facebook also. You can go to the Facebook, and will direct you from there. We ask that you bring a birth certificate and a proof of residency with you. You don't, necessarily have to have it, but we are letting you know that if you don't have the birth certificate, then your child will not be placed on a team until we have that, just to make sure that everything is on the up and up. It is $65 for the first child, and then we do have a family plan available after that. If you're interested in coaching or volunteering, everybody that has anything to do with the kids has to have a background check. So if you are interested, please bring your driver's license. It's a real short form that you fill out that, we take care of doing the background check. And it's not to see if you have speeding tickets or, anything like that. It's, looking for any crimes against children, in that line.
It's too bad it's come to that, but you have to do it.
Oh, yeah,
It has to be done.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's the world that we live in, and
Right.
we have
Yeah.
to do what people kind of make us do.
Right.
But, we always need volunteers, coaches, even if it's just to get on the tractor and mow for a little while, or if, weed eating is your forte, we have plenty of string that you can go through and help with that. If you want to empty garbage cans, mend fences, paint, it's almost unlimited. If you have a talent, we can find you something to do.
Also, you're looking for umpires.
We are looking for umpires also,
And coaches, yeah.
and
And
coaches,
coaches,
yeah. If you do have any questions, you can call my cell phone. It's 813-9777. I'll be happy to hook you up with whatever you're able to provide us with. We do have a thing that if you have equipment that is old, or your kids have outgrown their cleats or their gloves, whatever, if you want to bring it, we'll make sure that they get distributed to a child that is in need of.
And also,
Excellent.
excuse me, Pat, also speaking of that, very importantly, nobody that cannot afford it or has a problem financially paying for this, CLIO will work with you.
Yes,
And there's
yes.
never been a case of anybody, any child, boy or girl, that has been
Turned away.
turned
No.
away because of a financial problem.
Right,
So, and
right.
that's very, very important. And that's great, too. That's great. So
Sign up tomorrow, 10 a.m. until 1, and this will be at Lakeshore Primary. Great program. Let's get the kids out there, get some exercise, get them something to do for the summer, and get them away from those computers, if we can do that, and television, whatever. But Tammy, thank you so much. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Hey, would you keep us updated on the field situation?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you have
Hopefully
to
we
come
won't
back.
have any flood pictures to send to you.
Yeah, knock on wood.
I hope so.
Yes.
I hope
Yeah,
so. I hope
yeah,
you're right.
Really.